All right, we welcome back to this chapter one of part two now. Yeah, we're going to part two continuation from this after this CV coefficient of variation. Right. So basically, that you need to understand about econometric modeling, especially or modeling in economics, is that basically these are the 10 commandments, especially in applied econometrics, of what we are going to do this semester. All right. First of all, is use a common sense in economic theory. Certainly, look into what's the determinant of GDP, what or what's the impact of inflation, what's the impact of unemployment, and so on and so on. So these are the 10 commandments. Use common sense in economics theory, certainly, to interpret, to understand what is going on. The theory must be there. Economics are built upon a very solid theoretical understanding. The second one is ask the right question. Right, plenty. Sometimes it's a silly question to ensure that you understand what is going on, the goal of the research, not the context, familiar with the history, institution, and related measurement, and so on. So this one, know your context, will be similarly like to know the literature very well. Number four, they inspect the data. Certainly, if you have been exposed in econometric, when you get the data, especially secondary data, you plot it first. Have a look of the data, check it, what is going on, what happened, and so on. Right? Inspect the data with all those statistical program, especially like eViews. Right? Number five, keep it sensibly simple, or the what Zellner 2001 says about keep it sophisticatedly simple, or the KISS rule, right? My rule of doing research is you have to remember this, is that KISS for me is keep it simple and sexy, right? Keep it simple and sexy for your modeling, for your model that you're going to use. And number six, there, look hard, long and hard at your result. Look at the results. Apply. Maybe you found that this is something unusual. So look at the sign. Look at the whether it's positive, negative, whether how big is the coefficient. Apply the laugh test. Laugh out the result, and maybe you can interpret better after that. Right? Understand the cost and benefit of the data mining. Data mining, in that sense, is that you torture the data until the data give you the result. This will be one part of when we go through the semester, especially, is either you let the data tell you the story, or you have the story and you torture the data until your story until it become your story. So it depends on where are you going. Number 8, they be prepared to compromise. Classical assumptions are rarely satisfied, and so on. Diagnostic test, sometimes you try to solve this problem, another issue come into picture. You try to solve that problem, another issue, which actually also have been mentioned in your econometric class, actually. Number 9, they do not confuse statistical significance with meaningful magnitude. This one is an interesting observation also. The limit of econometrics is what they always mention. I'll show you one good simple article based on this number 9. Right, number 10 there, report on sensitivity analysis, whether you look at the sample size, functional form, the explanatory variable, proxy, maybe if you use proxy for GDP maybe, or some other variables. Right, yeah, you can always ensure that your research is, or your results and your conclusion is robust. Robust means that strong, solid. All right, what if you don't have the expected sign? Recheck, right? Maybe something wrong with your variables or the proxy. Look into the literature. Check your data for outliers, maybe for some errors. Check for some omitted variable. Check for some irrelevant variable. Check for multicollinearity. Yeah, maybe because of that. That's why you get the sign that it might be wrong. All right. Number 6 there is check for sample selection bias. They can be done also through what we have done last semester. Also, Ramsey reset test. Sample size, right? Increase the sample size. Check the theory, right? Well, okay, and part of it will be the from the understanding of general to specific. We have another understanding here, which is called specific to general. All right, the specific to general is more of the the specific to general here would be another interesting observation, appropriate in so-called multivariate setting. This is what we're going to do this semester, rather than general to specific, right? General to specific, which you have done in your econometric modeling. What the approach for this semester will be specific to general, or we call that, or the classification of the modeling called that bottoms up approach, right? This is what we're going to do this semester, right? Co-integration analysis typically starts with univariate. You have to test stationarity, unit root, and then you go co-integration, gradient causality, and so on and so on, which I'll mention again in the next 2 chapters, chapter number 3, right? Where we introduce what is time series analysis, especially using the much more, a little bit much more advanced methodology rather than just the OLS. All right. Okay, this is the reference for the chapter number 1, and I'll show to you example of the article that is very much of the controversy, and maybe some of you have seen this before, but then again I'll show to you again. All right. Just bear with me. All right, as I mentioned to you, this will be a very provocative kind of paper, which is very much related to what we are talking about here, especially when 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 we talk about this paper, surely, right? Yes, the paper title actually is about male organ in economic growth. Does size matter? Right, I will upload this in Ellipse certainly for you to read and have a look. And we have a limit of econometric in that sense. And just now you still remember that when talk to you about what happens if even is significant, does it mean anything? Right, so look at this abstract. They say this study explore the link between economic growth and penital length in between 1960 and 1985, and estimated using the growth model. Solo model is a growth model, economic growth model, and it found out that economic development is negatively associated with male organ. Means that the size bigger or longer, then economic growth would drop in that sense, or negative relationship. So this is one interesting paper that you can have a look, and they have the estimates. This is the model actually they use. This is the model that they use. If you can see that here, using this Mankiw textbook of economics textbook. Right, so this is one paper that I mentioned to you. All right, let's again go back to this this chapter number 1, and this is the reference for chapter number 1. So with that, I think I'll ended up the chapter number 1 here. Thank you very much. I will upload all the necessary files, the PowerPoints, the article related to this class, especially in chapter number 1 in Ellipse. Right, thank you very much. Adios for chapter number 1.